You finally bought your first gym membership and you're so excited to have your first ever workout. But what should I do? PPL, like everyone is recommending, like everyone is doing? My name is Till, and my body went from this to this. And I did not use PPL or train 6 times a week to achieve this type of physique. And in this video I'll explain why I believe that PPL is absolutely trash for beginners and what to do instead. So when you're a beginner and you go to Google and search training, routine or whatever, the first thing that comes up, push-pull legs. But what is even push-pull legs? So how you train is PPL, rest day, and PPL. So you train basically 6 times a week, if it's not modified, of course. And what it stands push, when you train that day, you only use your push muscles. For example, when you press something away with your chest, that's a push. You're pushing something away. When you use your tricep, you're pushing away. So you just train these push muscles. On pull day, you just pull things in. So you do pull-ups, you pull rows, and else, of course, is legs. And a lot of these influencers and bodybuilders, and we just go into Google forums, they all say use PPL, it's the best thing ever. But I don't believe this. And most people that are actually recommending, they have been training for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, or they're real bodybuilders and are on steroids, they're using gear. And that's why they can recover so incredibly fast, and that's why they can train 6 times a week. But for us, that are natty lifters, natural lifters, we need more recovery. We need to train harder, not as light. And if you can train 6 times a week, if you are a natural lifter, a natty lifter without using any enhancing type drugs, you will need more recovery. You will need more rest time. And then all these drugs. If you are a natural lifter, if you are natty and not using any type of enhancement drugs, you will need more recovery time. You will need more rest. This means that training 6 times a week is actually not very optimal for most lifters if you don't have 1 in a million genetics. And if you just keep training on 6 times a week, 1 rest day a week, sooner or later you will actually injure yourself. Just think of the stress. Muscles, they recover really quickly. Eat some good food, sleep, drink some water, and they will recover really fast. But where you neglect is the joints, elbows, the tendons, and your nervous system. You can't neglect these things because these will keep you healthy throughout all your life. Muscles recover really fast, but tendons and joints, it takes a lot of time. So if you train for 3-4 years, 6 times a week, straight through, you got some good muscle gains, or at least some good gains. But then you break your leg, or your knee is fucked up, your chest hurts, your shoulder, you're just fucked up. You got some alright gains, but you can't enjoy normal life no more. You want the gym to be a complement to your life, not to just consume your life. And I remember when I began training, I trained also just 4 times a week. And I thought, damn man, this is weight, I can't do it. I need to train every single day. I was so excited, full of dopamine, this is so fun. So I went to a 6 time a week training program. I trained 6 times a week. And it was really fun for a couple of months, but then reality hit. Now you've been doing it for a time now, dopamine isn't at a high no more. You feel like, And real life is kicking in, School has started, work is calling, relationships with friends and family and girls, because you're getting pretty jacked now. And they're just all calling your name. You need to do an assignment, you need to do homework, you need to help me there and there, do that. And you just, no man, I can't, I gotta go gym. But you can't skip schoolwork, you can't fail. You can't do that. So you just skip gym, like, oh man, I can't do it, alright. So you just do homework instead, and then you go out with your friends, and then you help your family because they are moving somewhere, and so on. And you just skip gym. And like I've said in a lot of videos, and I will say in this video again, is consistency is the key to achieving a better physique than 95% of people. Grit and consistency and never giving up is the most important part about all of this. If you just train 2 times a week, 2 times a week you're training, and you do it for the rest of your life, you're gonna look better than 99.9% of people. Because if you can train 2 times a week, every week if you're not dying or super sick, then you will just keep going with it. But if you choose 6 times a week, and you think, maybe 1 week I can train 6 times, the next week I can train like 2, Just choose something else. Choose 3 days a week instead. It's better to do a little bit of work that is planned and consistent throughout a longer period of time than doing a lot of work 1 week, then no work 2 weeks after, and then 1 week you do a lot of work, then 4 months you're not doing anything. And you need to be consistent, plan, and structure it right. And we think about, we don't care about the injuries or the time that we are wasting in the gym. The thing with PPL is that you train 6 times a week, and often you have very high volumes. Very high volumes mean that you have a lot of repetition, a lot of sets you need to do, and a lot of exercises. So you got a lot of exercise for the chest, for the shoulders, for your biceps, for your triceps. You got a lot of different exercises. They're basically doing the same thing, just maybe hitting it a little different, but not really making that big change. So just what I realized very quickly was, after training 6 times a week, is that there are some exercises that basically give you 80% of, you're doing 20% of the work that give you 80% of the results, or you can do 80% of all these exercises and super weird things that will give you 20%. So you're just basically wasting time. And because you have so many exercises, so much volume, so many sets and reps, you guys, oh fam, man, I don't want to be here for 3 hours, and I'm in here basically every day in the week. We gotta hurry up a little bit. So you begin with some bench, you do some really quick warm up. You're not really warmed up, you're just doing really quickly, then put on some weight, and then you do, and then you don't really go to failure because it takes too long time. Then you rest for 1 minute, you go again, and then you do again, and then again. And then you pop to the next exercise, basically no warm up, and then you do again. And because you have so many exercises, just pressed into a small little routine that isn't that small, you don't really have time for really good warm-up that will protect you from injury. You don't have time to actually push yourself to the absolute limit, which you can if you train 3 or 4 times a week, and you don't have the rest you need between the sets. You can't take 3, 4, 5 minutes even, that you feel like, all right, man, I'm ready to go train again really hard. What you do instead is you set a timer of 1 minute, you go again, and you will get a pump in the gym, but you will not get that good progress because you're not resting enough, you don't going that hard, you can't really focus on the form. Training hard and focusing on the form will give you incredibly good results. And if you just train 3 or 4 times a week, and you really focus on what you're doing, you try to get the best workout you possibly can have every single time you train, you won't have the energy to actually train 6 times a week. We train hard in the gym, but we recover harder even when we rest. So if you're training really hard, you won't be able to train 6 times a week. You will feel all these aches, and you'll feel, I can't do this. And I know for myself, I remember after like a year of training, I tried it. My chest started to hurt. My shoulder, my elbow. I'm 19. This isn't supposed to happen. It hurts so much. I couldn't even do exercise because, we did all these fast pace and you're really skipping warm up a little bit, and then the rest. Who gives a shit? You're just throwing away all the things that you need to make real good progress, just to get in some more volume and sets and reps. But it's not a compromise. You're compromising your health for speeding up your workout routine that isn't actually that good. And most people are under-recovered. They're not overtrained, they are under-recovered. That's why so many people injure themselves, and if you don't do warm-up, of course you're going to injure yourself. And the biggest setback is injury. If you can't train your left arm for half a year because you've injured your bicep tendon or your elbow, you basically need to rebuild everything. Instead, you just can take it a little slower, maybe get 1% less gains in 1 year, but therefore being able to train more years without getting injury. Basically, I've never gotten a serious injury because I always stop and I'm getting injury. I'm doing good form. What is the problem then? What is the problem? I'm doing good form. I've researched. I've tried it out. I've been careful. What is the problem? Well, too much volume. Training too often. Under recovery. So what I will recommend instead is that you train 3 to 4 times a week max. Everyone can basically train 3 times a week, 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's basically everything you need. You can hit your legs, you can hit upper body, you can hit back, hit your arms, hit shoulders, everything you need to do. And if you like I said, just focus on what you're doing. Good form, training hard, good rest, good warm-up. You will get some really good gains. You will become stronger each week. you will recover very well, and you will feel like a beast. You're not on steroids, then you can do PPL. If you're not, if you're a natty lifter and want to get some really good gains and don't be over-consumed by a gym, then train 3 to 4 times a week. And what I will recommend to every beginner watching this, use my plan, Mere Beginner. Here you have it. It's a program I've made, especially for beginners. Yes, they've never really been in a gym. They just want to try it out, see some alright progress. If you train 3 months with this program, you will see very good progress. You will see a difference in the mirror. And this program comes from my course, the Aesthetic Blueprint. And if you're interested and want to build an even faster aesthetic physique, check out the first link in the description. But how this program works is, you can see there are 2 workouts. We have workout 1 and workout 2. And like I said, we train 3 times a week, and we also have 1 rest day between. So for example, what I would recommend is you train on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and then 2 rest days on the weekends. And with these 2 workouts, we also have 2 weeks, week A and week B. And week A looks like this. So on Monday, you train workout 1. On Wednesday, you work out workout 2. And on Friday, you do workout 1 again. And that's week A. On week B, we do the other way around. So workout 2 on Monday, workout 1 on Wednesday, and workout 2 on Friday again. That's the whole thing. That's everything you need to know. Workout 1 and 2, and week A and B. You just follow this, and you take it really slow at the beginning. You look up all the forms. You can see bicep curl and deadlift. I've made another video on my channel, so you can check that out as well. Or you just go into YouTube and search deadlift form. And you listen to the form and you try to figure it out. Then after a week or 2, you feel quite comfortable with all the forms. Then you go harder. You train harder, with more intensity, still focused. You take enough rest between the sets. So you set a timer between 3, 4, 5 minutes. You do good warm up before you're doing something really hard, before you're doing your top set. So basically set with the most weight. And then you will see a big difference in 3 months. So just try that instead of PPL. Or try PPL first, and when you feel like this isn't working, it's not working for me, just try Mere Beginner. And you will see even better progress, and a gym will be a complement to your life instead of consuming your life.